In my opinion, in this situation, is the equivalent of the black guy who who was imitating or volunteered to play the role of George Floyd to prove that he was killed, not
I'll beat
because
you
he.
up. I'll beat you up. Like, you know what I'm saying? If a white guy ever asked me to demonstrate and I'm the guy who's on the floor, we have to run the fade. I got clippers ready for you.
That's
My
the name of the
blend
pod.
game.
I got clippers ready. That's the name of the episode. I got clippers ready.
You know what I'm saying? My blend game is magnificent. We can't do this. I'm sorry, bro. We can't do this. Welcome. This is a Between Brothers podcast where we bring you real talk, authentic takes, and laughs on sports, pop culture, and life. My man. Well, we'll get to that in a second. But my man, my main man, my big brother, Zero in the building. Of course, along with your host, the Duke of Debonairness, Lando in the building. Big bro, it was a tough one today. Should have had that Trevor Lawrence with the playoff picks. Playoff picks, this time he couldn't, overcome them. But yeah, it's a tough loss. I was rooting for y'all. Y'all did y'all thing against the run game, as y'all supposed to do. Kept James Cook out of the game. But how's it? How you feeling, man? How was your week? How you feeling after today? Are you optimistic for the future? Because Jaguars haven't really been the most consistent team.
Yeah.
But yeah, how's your week been this week?
My week's been all right. And doing my training classes. Like right now I'm they got me up in a room, so I'm out of town, so I can go ahead and get this on field training going, which honestly I really don't need, but I know that's what they want. That's part of the protocol, but it is what it is. Um, it's so yesterday it set in for jelly ball that I was gonna be leaving. I had I think I went to go to the jobs and get some stuff together. When I came back, she just walked out the door. She didn't even have shoes on. She came and gave me a hug. I was like, "What's wrong?" She burst into tears and said, "I don't want you to go." And then today I left. Everybody was all smiles. I said, "Hey, see you later." This and the third. I get to my destination to get a call from Jigglypuff, tears streaming down her face, saying, "I miss you. When you coming back?" I just arrived. She was like, "When are you coming back?" The drive wasn't very long anyway. It was like it was longer because an accident happened, but everything went smoothly. The Jags is like, it was so heartbreaking because um I really feel like if we were able to just snap the ball and they didn't do the measurement for when Trevor was stopped on 4th and 2, he probably would have scored. Um, I felt it was like, damn, we got a turnover just for us to not capitalize on it. He said we did what we had to do against Cook. We kept him out of the game, but um, this is why you don't trade with the Browns. because the guy we traded for, Greg Newsom, was a complete liability. Just complete liability.
Mm.
Yeah, because he gave up he gave up the score to Dalton Kincaid. He gave up the big play to Brandon Cooks. I think it was on third and long. He gave up the big play to Brandon Cooks that allowed the Josh Allen touchdown, the go ahead score. Um, so off season, they need to keep ETN. They need to keep Devin Lloyd. They don't need to re-sign Greg Newsom, and they need to put Travis Hunter primarily. They need to put Travis Hunter primarily on defense. It's like you give him a package, you give him a few plays here and there on offense, but he needs to play defense. And re-sign Parker Washington as well. 'Cause Parker Washington, he's been he's been the guy. It showed like when Travis Hunter got hurt that it showed that the Jaguars didn't know what to do with him, and they were just trying to force things his way. And somebody on CBS made it a point to say Travis Hunter wasn't ever on the field when they're in the red zone. So it was like, if you're not catching passes when it's scoring points, why are you on the field? Then why are you on the? It's like why have you on the field on offense? So it was like I think he needs to be on defense. They need to do something about that. They need to do something about the safeties and just keep everything intact with Trevor Lawrence because we saw what happened at the that 8 game winning streak, that whole stretch. He was really, yeah, he played really well. It's like it sucks but it's like optimistic for the future.
Yeah. No, good season overall, Jags. Nothing to the fact that you picked, second overall, or I think y'all moved up from, what was it, 3 or 5?
5.
You're the fifth worst team in football to be, as far as record is concerned, being the fifth best team in football. I think that's a heck of a turnaround. So nothing, it's playoff experience as well. Josh Allen, has a lot of playoff experience. So
But that shit was starting to get on my nerves watching the game. He threw, what was it? He threw a curl route early in the game. I think it was on third down. He threw a curl. He threw a curl route. It was like, it's that playoff experience. Dude was open. You think you think Josh wasn't going to throw it to an open guy? 'Cause I didn't know you need a playoff experience to throw it to an open man in the first quarter of the first drive of their. I'm just saying, like, 'cause I get it down the stretch, but it was like you threw it to an open guy. I don't think you need a playoff experience to find the open man and throw it to him.
um, yeah, let's stick with the sports. The Black Monday happened. A lot of guys got fired. Some guys I thought were going to get fired didn't get fired. I am just happy. All right. Was the NFL season disappointing for me? Yes. I still haven't gone through what my predictions were from the season as far as wins and losses and stuff like that. But it was a disappointing season overall, the way I feel, especially with the Jets being as bad as they were. Two things made me happy. In Black Monday, generally, I'm not happy about Black Monday or the NFL's Black Monday. But Brian Dable and Mike McDaniel not having jobs anymore puts a smile on my face. Now, they are going to be great offensive coordinators in other places. But the two of them not having jobs currently puts a giant smile. No, I didn't freeze. This is the smile it puts on my face. The main reason, actually, Mike McDaniel, the reason why I wanted both of them to be fired is because they convinced ownerships, two different ownership groups, that they were the guys for the job, that the guy before just didn't know how to handle the mediocre quarterbacks that they had. And then turn around, they have one or two good seasons. Tua, he talk about he's looking forward to a fresh start. Where? Who's gonna put Tua as a starting quarterback? I need to know. I need to know. Bro, you should have never been a starter. Carson, he was a starting quality quarterback. If Baker Mayfield's a starting quality quarterback, so is he. But you never was like that. Brian Flores told y'all. Brian Flores won his lawsuit. Brian Flores, I need him to get a job soon.
Yeah, he's on my list for sought after coaches.
I need him to get a job so that way, if Brian Flores gets a job, now I'm not sure if I mentioned this on this podcast. I absolutely hate every quarterback that comes out of Alabama. Why? Because I think because they win, they get hyped up. I hate all quarterbacks that get hyped up because they won a national championship. All of them. But specifically the Alabama ones. Why? Because the Jets drafted Greg McElroy. That's when it started. That's when it started. When they put that Mickey Ficky on the team, it started then. Because I saw with my own eyes. No one else's eyes, just mine. And through the eyes of others. He wasn't a good quarterback. For some reason, it's not like I don't even think the Jets drafted him high. The fact that they picked him up, they thought that he was an NFL capable quarterback, made me upset. All because he won a national championship, which means absolutely nothing in the NFL. So ever since that, so yes, Jalen Hurts, don't like him. Glad he lost today. Tua, been rooting against him since day one. Who's the other quarterback that came out of Alabama that they was gassing up a lot?
So you said Tua,
Jalen Hurts.
Mac.
I don't hate Mac Jones. Absolutely hate that guy. Absolutely hate him. Absolutely hate him because he also fits the criteria of Caucasian quarterbacks that just skyrocketed draft boards. I hate all those guys too. So especially when it's an Alabama quarterback. So those two guys getting fired because they convinced ownership that they could fix a guy that it was unfixable. And in Daniel Jones's case, he didn't necessarily have the greatest wide receiver talent around him, but that wouldn't have mattered. Now, Tua, he had everything going for him. So, just like I was talking about with Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield is having success because he's in the weakest division of football. That's it. He's on the only solidly, decently talented team in the weakest division of football. That's the only reason why Baker Mayfield's had success. So I love the fact that Tua is losing, and he fell apart. Nobody respects him anymore as a leader, as a man, as a football player. I just love it. I love it. Mac Jones, I don't hate him more because he's where he's supposed to be, a backup player. Jalen Hurts, I'll never like him. He cost me money in the Super Bowl last season.
Yo,
He was supposed to be an Alabama quarterback last season in the Super Bowl. He decided not to be.
somebody was making fun of him on social media. And he said when he does press conferences, he doesn't even answer the question. He just starts saying shit.
I saw something like that. I didn't watch the whole thing, but I saw a video where a guy was kind of talking about him.
Yeah, he
Uh,
was like, "Yo, I didn't even ask you that. Like, what are you talking about?"
yeah, so I love it. I love it. But I'm happy the two of them got fired. I'm happy Kevin Stefanski got fired. I'm not happy that John Harbaugh got fired because I really did. He was a special teams guy winning games. Like, how often are special teams coordinators even offered head coaching jobs, let alone to win a Super Bowl as well?
Yeah,
I think he's a heck of a coach. I don't know what, but when he made that decision against New England, up 11 to not play Derrick Henry and he was healthy, I knew he was getting fired. I was like, if they miss the playoffs, he's getting fired. And then he missed
yeah,
it. It sucks because he missed it off a kick. He couldn't control that. But, and not only that, that's also his expertise. I have a rule. If you don't, if you don't make an immediate impact on your side of the ball from a coordinator to a head coach, you're not a good head coach, in my opinion. You got to at least have you have to have immediate impact on your side of the ball. If you're an offensive guy, immediate impact. Defensive guy, immediate impact. Are you going to be calling the defensive plays and all this other stuff? No, not necessarily all the time, but you should be able to hire guys that you trust, that have great defensive minds, that are going to implement a great defense because you know defense and or offense. So if you don't make an immediate impact on that, and I'm not saying like has to be game one, but it has to be in throughout the course of that initial season. Kevin Stefanski, even though he got fired, he did it. Aaron Glenn did not do that. Robert Saleh did do that. Todd Bowles did do that. I'm just talking about just coaches. Rex Ryan did do that. Adam Gase did not do that. You see what I'm saying? So it's just like there's a pattern here. Not saying like you're going to be winning Super Bowls and things of that nature, but you're a good coach if you can make an immediate impact on your side of the ball. Um, Now, though it was a special teams blunder, and actually the last two seasons, it's been special team issues that have cost the Ravens some games. You got to consider Justin Tucker, his issues last season that cost the Ravens some games. So it's like, okay, if you're not seeing this and this is your level of expertise, maybe we need to consider moving in a different direction. But I don't think that the special teams for the Ravens, and I'm not a Ravens fan, but I don't think the special teams of the Ravens were that bad to let them go. But but like I said, when you make the decision to not play your best player, your best player on the field when your best player got hurt,
mm-hmm.
you deserve to get fired. Like that's a fireable offense, especially when we're making a playoff push. Like we started out really bad. We won 5, 6 straight games. We're back in the hunt when everybody counted us out, and we have opportunities. We had the opportunity to beat the Patriots, the best team in football at the time, record wise. I think we had the opportunity to make the playoffs and keep the Steelers out of the playoffs, and you didn't capitalize because of poor decision making. And so, and he's been in the league too long to make these kind of decisions. Um, who else got fired?
All right, so we talked about Harbaugh, we talked about McDaniel, you, Jonathan Gannon.
Yeah, he's another guy. The defense wasn't very talented, but the defense has gotten worse. I think statistically, it's gotten worse every year that he's been there, and that's his side of the ball. So he got to
Um,
go. Justified.
Pete Carroll.
Pete Carroll, same thing. Now, Pete Carroll's an excellent coach, but I think the Raiders have the worst defense in football. If they weren't the worst total defense, they were in the bottom five, and I'm pretty sure they were the worst scoring defense. You got to make an impact immediate.
Um, Brian Callahan got fired in October.
Yeah,
So,
makes sense. Offensive line was horrendous. That's he brought his dad in, arguably the greatest offensive line coach of all time. His side of the ball was offense. The offense struggled the entire time he was there, and it continued to struggle after he left. So it wasn't just a him problem, but again, immediate impact on the side of the ball you covered.
We You mentioned Stefanski and Raheem Morris,
Raheem
guys.
Morris. Yeah, I think that's the one guy I think should have kept his job another year because the Falcons did start putting things together towards the end of the season.
Hmm.
Now, I was having a conversation, and and the Falcons could have actually even won that division. And now again, it's because it's a horrible division, but they could have won it. But they were like, well, they weren't consistent, and he's had 2 seasons and they haven't done well. I think they did better than last season record wise. I think only by 1 game though. And then on the other side of it, they were putting things together. Kyle Pitts finally had a coming out game party. We've been waiting 5 years for that. Bijan Robinson is probably the best running back in football. The quarterback situation is still messed up. Them firing the GM makes sense. I do think that Raheem should have got 1 more year because the defense was starting to come together as well. It wasn't an immediate, but he didn't make that immediate impact. Now, talent wise, they weren't very good. But when you decide to draft an older quarterback who's coming off of injuries for your
Damn near every year he.
and not address the defense immediately, that's where, especially when you drafted Kirk Cousins, or drafted, you signed Kirk Cousins to that major deal. You cost the franchise too much money. You cost the franchise roster of the ability to build the roster out better. And so, in those things, he should have been fired. I think Moore should have got 1 more year, but I understand getting rid of the head coach if you're going to get rid of the GM so the GM could bring in a guy that he trusts.
And I made a list of
What are your thoughts?
coordinators.
Well, before you get to there, what are your thoughts on the firings?
Um, I think McDaniel, McDaniel, Gannon, Stefanski, all justified. I felt like all of those were justified. Brian Daboll, that was like 2 years too long. Like the
No,
moment
because
that they
his first year, because he's been there. This is his third year, right?
think so.
Yeah, because his first year he did good with, or at least he was able to reel in Daniel Jones being pathetic. But then when Daniel Jones went back to being pathetic, okay, then you put talking of it as a Daniel Jones problem. And I think what ultimately got him fired was them losing and seeing Daniel Jones do really good somewhere else. I think that's what got him fired early. But yeah, but like you said 2 years too early. Bro. All right, he had his first year was good. That's it. We need to move on.
Yeah, it was like I think I agree. I think Raheem Moore should have went another. Yeah, I think Raheem Moore should have went at least one more year to see how things go. Pete Carroll, I don't think they ever should have hired him. I think they should have went young. I thought they should have went with a fresher face instead of taking somebody out of retirement.
I
But
don't think he
they're probably
retired.
guys.
I think he just resigned from the position. I don't think he retired, which is crazy considering what the Seahawks went into right after that. Like
Yeah, so it's like, but I still think somebody a fresh face, a younger more. I don't want to say that Pete Carroll wasn't more driven, but I think a younger guy probably would have been able to take to like you give him more leash, you give him more leeway rather than with Pete Carroll, and then who knows, maybe you use his age as an excuse as to why you got rid of him, but you knew he was old when you hired him, so why the
yeah,
fuck
because
would
he's
you
in
hire
his
him in the
seventies,
first
right?
place? Yeah, I think it's like 72, 73.
The reason why I don't mind Pete Carroll being hired because that roster was so pathetic. I don't know if you want to bring a young, fresh head coach and put them in that position.
No, my thing is, I'd much rather hire the new guy and him build towards something rather than the older guy and just getting rid of him because due to his age. You gave him because what's the goal with Pete? You signed him to a 3-year deal to fire him year one. I don't. It's like you with the rookie head with I don't know if a rookie head coach, but you see how rookie head coaches have done. I mean, what's his name?
Well, this season,
Yeah,
that's uncommon. What's
I know it's
happened
not
this year is
common,
very
but
uncommon.
still, I would have. But I still think just because the Raiders team was just bad,
The Raiders
and
had
the
one had two good players on the team, and one of them was a rookie.
I would say three.
Who's the third? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was. He's not a rookie. I'm talking about last year. Like when Pete Carroll came in, they had Bowers and Crosby.
Mhm.
I wasn't talking about Genty or I don't know
Yeah.
who you were talking about for the third.
No, I was thinking about Genty, but I
Okay,
was thinking
yeah.
about this past season, not the
Yeah,
year
yeah, no,
before.
no. I'm talking about when he took over the team. They only had two good players, so it's just like, what would a first time head coach have done with that? So I'm like, I'm not, I don't really mind it because it's like, all right, you got a legendary head coach. He can either turn the team around and make them a little better because of his, because he's a legendary coach, or he's miserable. You get the first overall pick, and then you can build your team out and actually
Yeah, but
bring.
but give him another year though. Like don't like you give him three. Now you're paying six head coaches, about to be a seventh when you hire your next guy. Well, what's it called? Yeah, Dable. I was waiting for that.
They
Gannon was
should
so.
they should have a. I'm sorry to cut you off. What if they had a coaching salary cap? What I mean by that is like not like
Does the coaching salary cap also include the coordinators too?
no. What I'm not saying like I don't know if I want to call it a salary cap, but like they won't cut certain players because it's going to count against the cap. And so
Yeah,
they would either you can't really necessarily trade coaches, but you would trade the player to
but
eat some of
you can
that
trade
up.
coaches.
Yeah, because what's his name? Sean Payne is a product of a trade, right? So like,
Yeah, John Gruden when he went from Oakland to Tampa Bay, he was traded.
yeah, yeah, true, true, true. So with that being like, because you can't just keep hiring and firing. Like at some point, that should count against you. Like you said, like similar to oh man,
Milwaukee.
Milwaukee in the NBA, like they're paying five head coaches.
One of them shouldn't even be a head coach.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's the thing where it's like, okay, like, why can the coach and the coaches all get guaranteed salaries as well? You know, say fully guaranteed salaries. So it's just like, yeah, I signed for Pete Carroll. You signed him for 3 years, and now you can just fire him after a year and keep it pushing and pay 32 coaches at the same time. Like that don't make sense. I don't know if that's the case for all the coaches on the staff, but like that doesn't make sense. If anything, if you're gonna because of how bad the team was and the roster was, you might as well kept Antonio Pierce for another year.
Yeah. So sought after coaches. These yeah from yeah these are because you can say because I didn't add some of the fired guys because it's like you can say because of McDaniel's offensive background, you can say McDaniel's may be sought after by some teams or Kevin Stefanski or even John Harbaugh because of the fact that he was a Super Bowl winning coach. But he's some coordinators that I thought maybe sought after for jobs next year. The Chargers defensive coordinator Jesse Minter, um, Rams defensive coordinator Chris Shula,
Is he related to
Seattle's
Don Shula?
I don't know.
Oh, okay, I was just curious. I never heard the name before.
Um, as long as it's not the other Shula that was coaching in what's it called? That was coaching the Bengals in the 90s. It was like that dude had an exit press conference Like, who wants to exit press conference for a dude who don't even have a winning record? It's like, fuck that nigga. But Clint Kubiak, Seattle's offensive coordinator.
Is he related to Greg Kubiak?
Yes, he's Greg Kubiak's son. Um,
Greg
um,
Kubiak was he I'm
he
trying
was
to
with the
think. The
Broncos at one
offensive
point.
guy.
Yeah.
Broncos, was he the Broncos offensive coordinator when they won the Super Bowls, or was he just a coach for the Broncos?
Uh, I think he was just a coach for the Broncos. He was with the Broncos and he was with Houston Texans.
Okay.
Um, we already know Cliff Kingsbury is getting head coaching interviews. I can't remember where.
I don't know why. I don't know. I can't understand it.
And the last two, Robert Sala, he's getting head coaching
It makes a
interviews as
lot of
well,
sense. It makes a
and
lot of
Brian
sense.
Flores.
Yes. If Brian Flores and Robert Saleh can get jobs, I would love it. I wish if if um if Aaron Glenn would have gotten fired, which I think he
Hmm.
should have, I would have loved to have Brian Flores. I would have loved to have Brian Flores. But I think the Jets since I paid attention to coaches have tended to hire defensive coaches. I think that they're probably going to go offensive this time around, just because the defensive coaches haven't necessarily made the impact record wise since Rex Ryan. Um, because I don't think Todd Bowles made the playoffs. Yeah, I don't think the Jets haven't made the playoffs since Rex Ryan um got fired.
Yeah, 2010. Yeah, they haven't made the playoffs since 2010.
I think they're in the
Um,
longest playoff drought, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, they do.
Oh
It would
man.
have been Buffalo, but Buffalo went in 2017.
Anyways, so where who has vacancies? The Browns, the
So it'll be the
Raiders.
Browns. Yeah, the Browns, the Raiders, Arizona, Miami, Baltimore, New York, and
The Giants, New York Giants, New York
yeah, and
Giants.
I'm thinking if Tennessee may have it because Mike McCoy was the interim, so I think they're open as
Oh
well.
yeah, yeah, they haven't made a decision on that.
And it's still up in the air too because what's it called? Who's to say that if Buffalo loses next week, that McDermott doesn't lose his job?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Um, yeah, so yeah,
Who
so
do
we
they
still
play?
have
Who would they play? They would play. Um, they would play.
if the
I guess it
Chargers
depends. Yeah, it
lose,
depends on
they
if the
play Denver.
Chargers. Yeah, if the Chargers lose, they play Denver. If the Chargers win, they'll play New England. Or that's if New England wins.
Yeah, because the number one seed plays the lowest possible seed.
Yeah, which they would be the lowest seed if um if New England wins.
If the Chargers lose. Yeah, so who's to say that McDermott, because it was a possibility if they lost today, that McDermott may have lost his job.
Oh no, I'm tripping. The Steelers would be the lowest seed. So if the Steelers lose, if the
No,
if, yeah,
the
Houston's the
Steelers are the
seventh
four.
because that's right. I'm going off a record. They have the worst record of everybody, but they won the division. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, so the Chargers are the seventh
So
seed. The
yeah,
Bills were the
Chargers.
sixth.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
so
those are six.
so we'll so we'll have to see if the because they could still be that McDermott may lose his job
Yeah,
because that was the possibility today. If they lost to Jacksonville, he may have gotten fired.
but I think I maybe beating Jacksonville. keeps his job. Like even if they don't advance further, but I guess like now is the time. Like if you're gonna win a Super Bowl, you have to win it now because you can't expect the Chiefs to be down for forever. And the Ravens, like those are the Bills, Ravens, and Chiefs have been the top three teams. You lost the division to New England, for the first time in what, 5 years or something like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's it's not been looking great for him. They had a good record though. Like, it's
Yeah,
not
12-5.
yeah, 12-5 is a solid record. So that's tough, man. That's tough. I don't know if he should lose his job, but but this is the best defense they've had, and they don't really like. Everybody loved Coleman. I love Coleman's personality. He's not that talented of a wide receiver, but I mean, he was a second round pick, so it's not like he was supposed to be this great talent. But actually, no, a wide receiver, second round pick, you're supposed to be getting some good guys, a ton of wide receivers. So yeah, no, yeah, they need some receivers. Buffalo still, they kind of, Josh Allen or bust a lot. Um, so yeah, man, that's tough, man. I'd feel bad for him because I think he's done a good job. Um, but you have to win the Super Bowl this year. If you're
So
Buffalo, you have to win the Super Bowl this year.
yeah, because it's like if you don't, then what? Because it
Yeah,
was like when Jordan. Well, I know I'm not saying Josh Allen is Michael Jordan, but it's like when Jordan retired, it was just wide open,
yeah.
and it was like when he came back, it was
And
like shit.
and Hakeem took it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like went back to back. Um, and it was who went to the finals those 2 years? Orlando and
New York, New York.
like everybody and Patrick Ewing had proved that year, even though it was kind of fluky. But Patrick Ewing had virtually proved that year, like, oh, like the only reason why I'm not in the Super Bowl is because I had to go through Mike. I mean, or the finals I had to go through Mike. And so, like that year, he kind of proved it. Now he also had to go through the other top dog of that draft. They forgot about that other guy who was actually the first pick in that draft. But yeah, no, yeah, you're that analogy is 100% correct. Yeah, is he Michael Jordan? No, but the analogy is correct that now the top dog is gone. Now both of the top dogs are gone. I'm not saying Jalen Hurts is a better quarterback, but those were the two teams that were in, the Super Bowls. Um, yeah, it's not a great look for you, Josh Allen, if you can't win, if you can't at least make it to the Super Bowl. But if you're
Mhm.
the Bills, you gotta win it. You can't be 0-5 in the Super Bowl all time. That's I would love that. That's actually what I need most in this season. I still like I don't know if y'all forgot my Super Bowl prediction before was that Josh Allen makes it to the Super Bowl and loses to the Lions. I need him to make it to the Super Bowl to lose. I still want that to. I don't care who the NFC team is. I need that to happen.
So let me see. I can see Flores going to Baltimore.
Ooh. Oh,
Um,
oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah, no, we don't need that. The NFL does not need that at all. Because you saw what he did with the Vikings defense, bunch of no-name guys.
hmm Imagine what he's gonna do
He
with Kyle
got Kyle
Hamilton.
Hamilton. He got Kyle Hamilton.
That's what
He
I
got
mean to say.
solid corners. They need to fix their front, but like,
Now, what's it called, Matabuke? Because he got he had the season-ending injury. He'll be back for training camp. Yeah, it's like
nah, man, we don't need. Well, I don't even know why you put that out there. That's definitely not going to clip. We don't need no owners, not owners watching us thing, but we don't need that energy out there, dog.
yeah, I could probably see going to Clint Kubiak going to Cleveland. Um, shit, I could see Cliff Kingsbury going to Miami. Robert Sala in Vegas if they're able to keep.
I wouldn't go there if I was him though. I don't, and also with the Tom Brady influence, I don't know if Tom Brady would want a defensive guy.
The offensive guy ain't do shit for you.
Who's the offensive guy?
Wait, isn't Pete Carroll an offensive guy?
No, no, no. Pete Carroll's always been known as a defensive coach.
Who
Now,
the hell would want to?
I think people might have thought that in college, or like, but I can understand like the offenses that he had in college. You would think that he was an offensive guy. USC's defense was actually very good in those years. But
Now I know that I never.
Reggie Bush I think, made people think that Pete Carroll was an offensive guy. Because that dude, greatest college football player I've ever seen in my life. I shouldn't say greatest, most electric. Cam Newton's the best college. I'm not going to act, and people don't kill me about this. I'm not going to act like I'm a college football guy. I haven't watched a college football game in 5 years. I'm not a college football guy. But when I did watch college football, Cam Newton, Reggie Bush, must see TV.
Mhm. Yeah, but my biggest thing is Flores to Baltimore. I
Man,
think he'll do.
I don't need that kind of
I
stress.
so it, my so
I do
yeah,
not need
that
that that's stressful for offenses.
yeah.
Keep him in the NFC. Send him to Arizona. Keep him in the NFC. Them AFC quarterbacks. You saw what he did with freaking Miami's defense. That
But any defense he's been, or even it's
he's
like
like black. He's like the black Rex Ryan. He's heavy blitz. He's gonna come at you every single snap.
like I said, with a guy like Kyle Hamilton in this, but what's it called? He need to if he can go there. I'm pretty sure because somebody did a list on the top five worst corners, yards given up.
Mm-hmm.
Marlon Humphrey and Nate Wiggins were both on that list. They
Yeah.
both gave, yeah, I think they both gave up over 800 yards
Mm-hmm.
receiving.
And they're good corners. That's the sad thing.
So it's like that. That would definitely help them out. But that's my biggest one. Cause maybe Salah going to Arizona.
Keep both of
Er-
them guys. Them guys can stay out of the AFC. Keep both them guys in the NFC. Let Matthew Stafford handle that.
And Stafford gonna be gone soon anyway.
Dude.
Yeah, that's my thought. That's my thought. Shoot.
All right, so let's get serious. Uh of course, biggest news in the news cycle this week was young lady Renee
Renee Nicole Good.
Renee Nicole Good was shot in the head and face 3 times by an ICE officer, ICE agent,
Jonathan Ross.
who they claimed she tried to run over with his vehicle. There is every single piece of evidence shows that that isn't the case. I don't I don't know how else to say this except I remember having saying this specifically, and I said, a lot of white people love ignoring certain things because they happen to black people. And they'll justify and excuse the police or the authoritative figures' behaviors, saying, why don't they do X, Y, and Z? If they weren't doing X, Y, and Z, these things wouldn't happen. And I said, y'all need to be careful with that rhetoric because there's going to be a point where it happens to y'all. And not saying that that's what Renee was doing. But there's going to be a point where there's going to be a white person that ain't doing nothing wrong that's going to get hurt and lose their life. And this is a young mother of 3 children who just lost her husband not too long before. This, the fact that these people decided to condemn this woman and make up things about her when they didn't even have facts about it out. This administration is absolutely despicable, pathetic, and I don't even know what else to say about these people.
Because it's like when they first reported on her, they made sure that it was like she put her pronouns inside she put her pronouns in her profile because that was important. They really like immediately they made it seem as if she was a domestic terrorist. It's like after saying that, basically you could say anybody that goes against
Mm.
what this administration is doing a domestic terrorist. Like now you just put everybody who's protesting against this entire thing, you might as well just call them domestic terrorists because it's going against what it is that you said that you're trying to do right now. When it came to Trump came out and was like the officer who almost got ran over was fighting for his life. You see the video, he claps her and she crashes into a parked car, still calls her a fucking bitch. He said he walked over to the car, wouldn't allow anybody to give her aid. He didn't want to allow anybody to help her out. I'm pretty sure there was nothing that they could do but to still deny anybody from even going to the vehicle and doing anything about it. It's like they didn't even have all that money they poured into ICE. Nobody had body cams. They're recording. It's like they're using their Verizon data plan to just record people. Like what's it called? I gotta go to it. Stephen A. coming out of his mouth. He said the killing the killing of Renee Nicole Good was completely unnecessary. But he said from a lawful perspective, the ICE agent was completely justified. It's literally against the law for you to
It's
shoot every
literally against the law. Like this is
literally again. It's written in there. Somebody went on Facebook, literally typed
no,
out
no.
the
Hold
entire.
on. I need you to stop for a second. I'm sorry. I need you to stop for a second.
All right.
y'all, all right. We don't have a lot of subscribers. We don't have a lot of listeners on this podcast. But this is the stuff I talk about, and we're not even. Normally, I'm talking about sports with this, but this is the stuff I'm talking about with these people. Where you got, you're investing tens, thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars into your entertainment thing, and you couldn't bother to do the research to see if what you were saying was, this isn't a sports prediction. Stephen A. Smith doesn't know basketball because he didn't pick the finals right for how many years. This isn't a sports prediction. This, you're talking about the law, dog. It's not hard to look that up. And you came out your mouth and said that out loud. You look stupid. You look so stupid. And this is why niggas always be calling it. I've said multiple times on this podcast, Stephen A. Smith is my favorite media person when it comes to sports media on TV. But and it hasn't been close. But ever since he started moving into this political space, I'm like, dog, you're talking like a guy who repeated the seventh grade twice because he was challenged academically. Not like that he was a troublemaker or anything, but he was challenged. That this is Stephen A. Smith's life. This ain't so, like, that's how you sound. You don't sound like you've overcome that. You sound like these Trumpers that do no research, just go with what they hear and don't trust but verify, dog. This is what you do. This is what you say. This is how you act. Then I see him go on and try to justify and say, "Oh, New York Post, I think, said something, but that's not all I said." No one cares about what all you said. What you said though, like what you said though, was damning enough. We don't need the caveats. What you said was wrong. What you said was stupid. What you said was misguided. What you said was misinformed. What you said was retarded. But I digress.
It's it's pathetic at this point. Folks are really trying to folks are really trying to justify murder that's caught on camera.
They did it with George Floyd.
Oh yeah, you're right.
They
You're
did
right.
it with George Floyd.
Because they were trying to say, "Oh, he was on drugs," and
So a
then the
nigga high
coons that
means that
were,
he should get shot up or not shot up, choked to death.
and then, and then it's like the folks. Like and the thing about it is when Stephen A. In my opinion, in this situation, is the equivalent of the black guy who who was imitating or volunteered to play the role of George Floyd to prove that he was killed, not
I'll beat
because
you
he.
up. I'll beat you up. Like, you know what I'm saying? If a white guy ever asked me to demonstrate and I'm the guy who's on the floor, we have to run the fade. I got clippers ready for you.
That's
My
the name of the
blend
pod.
game.
I got clippers ready. That's the name of the episode. I got clippers ready.
Like, you know what I'm saying? My blend game is magnificent. We can't do this. I'm sorry, man. We can't do this.
Like the fact that Stephen A is the Stephen A coming out, going on his platform and basically and like nobody cares that you think it's unnecessary. It's you know what it reminds me of. Me and you had talked about this, and rest in peace to Dwayne Haskins. Played quarterback for Washington.
Ohio State guy, right?
Yeah, the Ohio State guy. I remember when he came out, and I typed in somebody made a post about Jacksonville possibly drafting him as their drafting him to be their new quarterback. And I had said, I really hope that nobody tries to make him change his position because it happens too much with black athletes. It's like they want him to change their position rather than to draft them at the position that they played at. And everybody jumped down my throat who saw that and said, "Why do you want him to switch positions?" I was like, "No, I never said. I said I hope they don't because I want him to play quarterback." It didn't matter that I said I didn't want him to. What they saw was change positions, and then they ran with that rather than reading everything. It only compared to Stephen A. because nobody cares that Stephen A said that it was unnecessary. When you said that the officer was justified,
No,
nobody
he
gave a
wasn't. But
like.
that's the thing, though. Like the massive difference between this wasn't like these people heard what you said and then or read what you said and like they just didn't read the whole thing. We heard it. You see, like we heard it all. AKA, we read it all. But what you said was a lie. Was again misinformed. Was once again retarded. That's like you didn't say nothing that was stupid. You see what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
they just disagree with you because they didn't complete the sentence. Because no, we all comprehended what you said, dog. No one cares about that because what you said was wrong. What your point, the point you were making was wrong, was stupid, was idiotic, was I can't even, I don't know enough synonyms to describe stupid. I don't know. I don't have enough. I don't. My vocabulary has fallen off since I've gotten out of school. So like I don't know. I don't know what else to do except go on thesaurus.com and read them all. Foolhardy, foolish, insane, silly, asinine, birdbrain, daffy, daft, dull, fatuous, harebrained, imbecilic, insane, moronic, senseless, thick-witted, unintelligent.
indie animal. This nigga went from a New Yorker to an Indianimal just like that, saying that shit. It was like, come on, yo. It's like you see in the video, he literally lapped the car twice recording it. They were of no threat to you. And you pulled the blicky out. You ICE agents have no authority with US citizens.
They don't.
It's like you went to it's like you dude got out one guy got out and try to like he's like what's it called? She unfortunately she was shot. Because I can't say it could have been worse if they got a pull. It probably would have been a lot better for her if they pulled her out of the car. Because she may be still alive today. But dude tried to snatch her
Yeah,
out of her car.
yeah.
It was like, well, it was like, get out of the car. Well, it was like, you don't have no authority to arrest us.
The sad thing about all of this is that the police have far more accountability than these ICE agents do. They don't have body cams. They get to wear masks. They don't have to identify themselves. They don't have to, you can't say give me a badge number to an ICE agent. They don't have to do any of these things. And so like y'all okay with being the KGB, the American KGB? The American,
Absolutely.
like that's what y'all want. That's what y'all wanted in your life. I'll punch you in your face.
It's like it don't make no sort of sense. It's like they don't have this jurisdiction, but you know, in Trump's America, in Trump's America, if I mean, what's it called? January 6th was literally treason.
He pardoned all them dudes.
He pardoned one of them twice.
Dang, how you get pardoned twice? That's insane.
But he pardoned one guy twice. It was like, yo, like, what are we doing here? It's like you basically put the country in the hands of a 6-year old with bone spurs in his heel. Like what are we doing? You put it in the hands of a 6-year old that got a blank check and don't give a shit about anybody that don't agree with him.
I want to apologize to my aunt. I want to apologize to her because she used to tell me like, "Yo, Republicans are racist. Republicans are racist. Republicans are racist." Do I agree with that wholeheartedly? No, I really don't. But this has been a theme for the last 3 or 4 weeks. My thing is, it's the square and the rectangle. I don't think that all Republicans are racist, but now I'm at the point where I do think all MAGAs are racist, or what I like to call them maggots, and it's not for the bug. Um, so
It is insulting the bug.
and so with the reason why I say that is because Republicans have relied on fear mongering to push their point across. And Democrats have done it as well. But in this instance, right now, what's going on in this current administration, how did you start the fear mongering? You started it with the fake assassination attempt. Oh
That
no,
that that
he really got shot at.
that dude
Oh,
squeezed the fucking
the wrestling joint.
he didn't even blade himself because there ain't no scars. He didn't even blade himself.
So people who believe that he got shot, I know you've never seen someone who's been shot. A bullet is taken off your ear. Especially from the caliber of weapon they said he was shooting. Your ear is gone. Half of it. Instant. Oh, it grazed him. I'm not, I know exactly what you mean. That's why I say it's taking it off.
I
You have
forgot. I
you
thought all
you have
MAGA folks knew
you
about like guns and shit. He
you
was like, "Yo,
you you yeah, you've I just want people to understand this. You have possibly there's been a time where you've probably been cutting some onions or something like that, and you let your finger slip out a little bit, and not that you actually cut yourself, but you catch that edge of your finger and you catch it right before it really penetrates. If a knife can do that to you, moving at 2 inches a second, what is a bullet gonna do to you moving at 2,000 feet a second? And I know
and you
my
don't even
math isn't
see it
off.
coming."
You don't even see it coming. Then, how they try to get him out of there, they stand him up. He just got shot at in the head. They stand him up. They barely cover his head, and except for getting him out of there, because you see it all the time. They keep your head down. It's how to avoid getting shot 101. You move and keep your head down. Not stand a guy straight up, surround him, kind of use your hands like your hands going to stop a bullet from piercing this dude's skull, and then let him turn around to the crowd and say, "Fight, fight, fight." To who else? Who are we fighting? The whole thing was staged. Anyways, that's how you start it. Then you say, "Oh, someone was at the White House lawn with a gun trying to shoot him." Now you're creating a fake thing, and then you're saying everything is a Democrat hoax. Affordability is a Democrat hoax. The Epstein files a Democrat hoax, and then you literally watch this guy contradict himself and lie on camera multiple times, and you ignore it all because you're a racist piece of filth. Because that's what you I think it was Glory Road where he said that dude, no, it wasn't Glory Road. It was the what's the word I'm looking for? Who was the judge? Thurgood Marshall with the Lawrence Fishburne thing, and he said the white guy. There was a white guy who was with the NAACP, and he was like, they were like, "Why are you like with them?" And he said, "Well, when I was growing up, I was told my whole life that black men had the key to every young white girl's room to go in there and sleep with them." And he said, "I need to be a part of the organization that had them." And so, like, but that was used to make people fear black men, and they use a lot of things when it came to slavery to create fear around black men, and use them fear to control black men as well as stigmatize black men and black women. And it's just that's all they did, and that's all they did to stir things up. And that's exactly what they're doing now. And that's exactly what Hitler did. And that's exactly what Mussolini did. And that's exactly what Napoleon Bonaparte did. And it's the same thing. History repeating itself. And y'all sitting there voting for this stuff because you have no education, you're stupid, and you're so filled with hate. You're talking about that, and people who say that they will vote Republican because they're Christian, you're full of shit, and I'm gonna punch you in your mouth. Literally, maybe depending on pissed off, it might be literally and figuratively. I don't know which violent act is going to happen to you. But what I'm saying is, you're full of crap because there's nothing Christian about America. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm the most studied person of the Bible. All I know is the last 365 days, I read the whole Bible. There ain't nothing America stands for that I've seen, especially this America that's going on right now. There ain't nothing in it that I've seen that was in the Bible that was justified to be good. And the fact that they instantly went to making this person a they called her domestic terrorist. I said this last week. I seen a guy that I used to work with on Facebook say that Democrats are the biggest threat to America right now. Or Democrats is what's wrong with America, because you're saying that opposition is wrong, is what's wrong with America, when opposition is what created America. So how is that possible that like just because you have an opponent, that means they're a threat to you? If you have an opponent and you see that they're a threat to you, it's because you're up to nefarious acts in the first place. And you don't want nobody to stand up to you and stand against you and keep you from doing the evil deeds that you got going on. They instantly went to trying to create this woman to be something that she isn't. They instantly went to that. Instantly. For no
There
reason.
was they
Except for
got the
saying No, this isn't what we want our ICE agents to do. They they don't even care that they don't even care that they're killing your people. Oh, they're killing your own people now. And I swore that once somebody got once a white person got, and she fits the description of the person that they get of the type of white person that gets sympathy. Blonde hair, blue eyed, blah 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 blah. She fits the description, and they gave her no sympathy. They instantly went to making this person a villain, except for the victim that she actually is. And then they end up and they make this other guy sound like he's a hero. Bro, I don't know who told that idiot to put that video out there. You even left the part in, you even bleep yourself out. You're calling her out her name after you just murdered this woman. I hope you get everything I've been hearing George Zimmerman getting. Dude can't get a job. People just running up on him, giving him clippers. I hope everything that George Zimmerman getting, you get. Hey, Lando, that's not very Christian like of you. Hey, the devil got a job too. And since when has God not dealt with evil? So saying, oh, I hope something bad happens to him. Yes, I do hope some bad things happen to bad people because that's what they earned. That's what they asked for. You get what you ask for, bullets or bars. Great Freeway said that.
And that nigga ain't from the hood, so he ain't a star.
And so it's a tragic incident. I feel so bad. These are the kids I feel bad for, not the guy who was talking out of his neck, literally and figuratively. These are the kids I feel bad for. That's the family I feel bad for. Charlie Kirk was for freedom of speech, but yet this person freely speaks and protests. She gets gunned down for it, and y'all are saying that she deserved it. So why didn't Chuck deserve it? And he was spreading hate because he wasn't going to these college campuses saying what's wrong with white people. That guy, and then the mayor says, like, I saw the video, bro, get the F out the city, get the F out my state, get the F out my city. Like, yeah, that's how it should be. That's how it should be. This whole ICE thing is all racism. That's all it is.
Because I saw a video of a guy that was a postal service driver. It was like he got yeah, he said he was delivering mail, and he said that all he was doing was delivering mail. They worked for the post office. They called it into their radio, said he was impersonating a postal worker. Dude literally had to call a supervisor to prove that he worked there. Like they all they gotta do is pull up, ask you questions, and if they don't believe you, and they were saying folks are getting kidnapped and put in detention.
Yeah, there was one person I saw. He was like, they said they snatched him up, and he literally he was, I think, homeless. He literally had his birth certificate in his bag when they snatched him up off the street, and they didn't check it until he was in this detention home or in this detention center for 14 hours.
And the fact that you can't just punch a nigga in their face for doing that shit.
Why can't I give Clippers out? One guard or two guard? Like, what we need? Open Clippers, close Clippers.
I'm saying, why can't I give you a number two up to a fade and then give you a
Yeah.
one?
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand why we can't do open Blake, close Blake.
You know what I'm saying? Why can't I just give you a little bit off the top?
Yeah.
Leave the sides.
Yeah. Why can't I take the top? Why can't I take your top off? Give you Deontay Wilder work. I mean, it's a brutal reality what this country is becoming. And they said that one of the worst presidents, like in history, or the worst president in history, as far as the worst second term in history, because there's like every president, if they serve 2 terms, the second term doesn't go as well as the first one. And the one who had the worst second term was Grover Cleveland. And he's the only president that had the same presidential election cycle that Donald Trump has had. And I was indifferent about Donald Trump, his first election. I just thought he was funny, that he was goofy, whatever. Now I really don't like this guy. Like, I've never had feelings towards a president until now. Not saying that I want him hurt or harmed or anything like that, but I don't like this guy. This guy is a con artist. I'm trying to find out where's the All Lives Matters people now. Because you were all racist. All the All Lives Matter people, y'all were racist. Y'all did that out of racism. You didn't do it out of anything else. From that. I used to be like, man, I ain't blaming things on racism no more. No, everything y'all do, I'm blaming on racism. Everything this administration does, I'm blaming it on racism. Tax breaks, racism. Renovations to the White House, racism. Flying on Air Force One, racism.
That's fucking funny.
Everything this administration does is racism. And I'm watching these people, and it's just like you see evil right and you know the sad thing, and this is gonna be my last point I make. The saddest thing about all of this, we have literally, like, I've always sat here and I've heard people say, how the heck can a person join a cult? Or how the heck could Hitler have led all those people to do X, Y, and Z? How could this person have led all these people to do? I never thought in my lifetime I would experience it. Donald Trump is responsible. I shouldn't say fully responsible for one of these things, but he's responsible for 2 things I thought would never happen. I never thought I would live through a pandemic. I never thought I would see America turn into a semi-dictatorship.
And yet, here we are.
This dude is historic. He's a legend, and not in the good sense. And I've heard people say, oh, well, Barack Obama and Joe Biden kicked more people out of the country than Donald Trump did. Why are they? They didn't do it. Imagine this. Imagine y'all think this is the way to do it, and he's performing significantly worse than they did at it. This dude is a fraud. He's a spoiled rich kid that's never accomplished anything in life except convincing people that he's actually somebody. And y'all and y'all let him believe he was a somebody by voting for this man to be in this office. This guy is an absolute shame of a human being, in my opinion. Um, the only thing I'm going to say is I believe in America enough, the democracy enough that things are going to change. As the great American philosopher Sam Cooke says, a change is going to come. And we're not going to allow this to happen after he's out of there. And hopefully, we can get to the point where he gets impeached and put out of office before this thing goes way to the left. And I don't mean politically, but that's it. Anything else?
Mm-mm.
All right, big dog. I never said how my week went, but
Nope.
I have nothing to report really. Um, Zero, what's your parting shot?
My parting shot is don't try to turn people into monsters before you get all the facts. Like the fact that the Department of Homeland Security was quick to say that this lady was a domestic terrorist and basically like attempted to dehumanize her after your ICE agents who come to find out only need 47 days of training before they could become an ICE agent because Trump because celebrate yeah, the number is because of Trump becoming the 47th president because that's the adult thing to do. Um, like to dehumanize her, and the fact that it's funny that these same folks from the DHS didn't feel that that was the same thing almost a year ago when folks stormed the White House. Yeah, we see where y'all land on this shit. I just it's like because too many people jumped to this conclusion because they wanted to justify somebody getting shot to death because if Trump ordered it, if Trump ordered ordered ICE to be in all these cities, there must be a reason, right? All the only we already know the only thing he's speaking to are the folks that believe that it's folks that came into the country that's taking everything else away from Americans. All he did, all that's all he's doing is fear mongering folks, and then making folks like Miss Good look like she's looks like she's the animal, like she's the troublemaker, like she's the one that needs to be put down like a fucking animal.
Yeah.
That's my part of shot, yo.
Um, I think I've been dark enough on this podcast that I don't want to talk about this administration to end this episode, or even the the tragedy that's happened, or Stephen A. Smith being an idiot, or any of these things. I want to say that my parting shot is I really need two things to happen. I need Josh Allen to lose in the Super Bowl, and I need Indiana to win the national championship solely so I can play this.
Oh, Jesus.
That's all I need. If that happens over the next week, 2 weeks, well, when's the Super Bowl? A month from now?
Yeah.
If that happens over the next month, I know 2026 will be a good year. I know it. But rest in peace, Renee Good. Blessings to her family. Healing energy to her family. May God bless y'all in your suffering. May God bless America during its suffering. And that's it for us. Thank y'all so much for watching the Between Brothers podcast. We love y'all. We'll see you next week.